Rev up your engines!
Now, there's a theory going out there that Trump's ongoing 25% auto tariffs is going to expect to cut sales by millions of cars and cost $100 billion. Now, numero uno, who knows what's actually going to happen? If people are going to buy a car, they're going to buy a car, right? So maybe they'll start wising up. If there is a tariff and it stays that much and it makes the price go up that high, then guess what? Buy the ones that don't cost as much. Buy the ones made in America. They make a lot of Hondas and Toyotas in the United States. Right? You can't say, oh, I can't buy a Japanese car. Hey, they've been making them over here for decades anyways. So buy one. When you go to the store, you can see where it's made. Go by the VIN number. You know, it's number one, it's USA. Do a little study. All you got to do is get your phone and say, what does this VIN number mean? It'll tell you where the car's made. Because a lot of times they lie. You know, they'll say, made by blah, 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 blah of America. But then you look and it was made in Mexico because they include Mexico as part of North America. But the VIN number does not. The VIN number will tell you whether it's made in the United States, whether it's made in Mexico, whether it's made in Japan, or whether it's made some other country. It has to tell you the country that it's made in. That is the law of VIN numbers. So if they say, oh, it's going to cost $100 billion, blah, 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 blah. This is all these economic idiots that know nothing about the real world. The real world is if something costs too much, we don't buy it, right? So we'll buy something else. Hey, they can ramp up production of stuff here or whatever. And who's to say this 25% tariff is going to even last? I mean, everything keeps changing. It's going to be 100%. That's 20%. It's going to be 12%. It's going to be 10%. No one knows, right? And of course, we all know the car companies, they're greedy, so they'll use any excuse to try to prop up the price, just like they did in coronavirus. They propped the price up so high that the price of some used cars were more than the new cars. See what's out there. If you don't like it, don't buy it. Well, China is now urging Trump to correct his mistakes and heed what they call rational voices on all these reciprocal tariffs. Well, what's rational to one person may be insane to another. Realize that we buy a ton more crap from China than they buy from us. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Sit at the bargaining table. Well, the United States has the better chips because we buy a ton of crap from them and they don't buy that much crap from us. They're the ones that are going to be losing out bigger. And if you want to look at the truth of the matter, look at the Chinese money. China, for decades, has artificially kept the value of their money low. So their goods will be cheaper for other countries. Now, there's a country that did the exact opposite, and it didn't work, which is Great Britain. They kept the pound inflated for a long time, decades, so that they had more buying power. Now it screwed over all the people in England trying to sell stuff around the world. Their stuff was so expensive, nobody bought it anymore, except fools in the United States who bought Jaguars and Land Rovers and that crap, right? The majority of the stuff people were buying in England was coming from overseas because it was cheaper. When I was there, I went to get some cherries. So I go to this farmer's market. I said, where are these cherries from? They said, Poland. Because they grow them cheaper there, right? So all the English farmers, with their trees, they got screwed over. Nobody was buying their cherries because they made the price of the pound too high. And yeah, they could buy things cheaper from overseas, which they did, right? But it screwed the country over. Well, China's done the exact opposite. They kept the value of this thing low so they can sell crap all over the world. Well, eventually, maybe the crap hits the fan, and now people are starting to fight back and say, well, you artificially kept your money low, so we're going to tariff it. Interesting times for sure. Here are some of the best-selling cars so far of 2025, and of course, hardly any of them are cars. They're mainly trucks and SUVs because people are still buying those giant things. Now, back on the top is the Ford F-Series. They sold 183,202 of them so far in 2025. Number two is the Chevy Silverado. They sold 128,298. So, listen, people, you're still out there buying big, giant gasoline and diesel-powered trucks, right? The electric truck sales, GM can't give away their electric Silverados. Ford's got the same problem with their F-150 Lightning. So number three is the RAV4. They sold 115,402. Now we're getting into SUV territory, right? They're very reliable SUVs. You can get a regular one, or you can get a hybrid one. You can even get a plug-in hybrid one. The extra money you pay for the plug-in, I don't think is really worth it. I'd go with a regular hybrid if you wanted a hybrid. Then number four is the Honda CR-V. $103,325 again, an SUV that has been proven to last forever. I've had customers with CRVs that went 350 and they were still going strong. And number 5, we're back to the big giant ones again, a Ram pickup. They sold 78,848. Those are the top 5. And if you notice, none of them are cars because people are still into trucks and SUVs, which of course use a lot more gas. That's just how they are. The trucks especially, they're big, they're heavy. And these are big trucks, they're the big sellers, not the little ones. And SUVs, of course, they get a lot worse gas mileage than regular sedans do, but it's proving that people want big trucks and they want SUVs to move their families around. And guess what? They don't want electric cars. Well, things don't look hot for the economy. Consumer sentiment has tumbled in April because of fears of inflation. Lower the interest rates, inflation gets even higher. Then people borrow even more money, and then people charge more for stuff, making money worth less. The mid-March research shows that now consumer sentiment is only 50.8% positive. It's almost even and a little bit away from negative. And this is the second lowest reading since this survey has been done since 1952. People are worried about inflation again because, of course, the government economists put it in quotes because, I mean, basically they're a bunch of clowns. They say, oh, inflation's only 2.6%. What a load of baloney that is, right? Our inflation has gone bananas. Look at the prices of your insurance, car, groceries, houses. It's not 2.6%. I have seen houses in my neighborhood here in Rhode Island in the last 3 years. 3 years, they've gone up like 60%, right? So what's that? That's 20% a year, not 2% a year. So this nonsense the government tries to tell us, oh, don't worry, inflation isn't that bad. It really is. These people don't know anything about the real world. Scientists were supposed to look at all the data and then come up with a theory. But today, they have a theory, then they try to manipulate the data to make the data fit their theory. And of course, with economics, it's real easy. You just make graphs. Instead of 1,000 being up here, 1,000 is now down here on the graph. So, it's real easy to make things look bad. Things are not looking good, and this survey says it's the worst consumer sentiment since 1952. Now, that was a long time ago. I wasn't even alive then. I was minus 1 year old. Well, there was a custom glitch about taxing people that were having products already shipped before the tariff. And they said, well, it lasted for 10 hours. Then they fixed it. Well, let's face the facts. These tariffs, some of them don't even last 10 hours. We'll put this tariff on. Oh, now we'll hold it back. Then we're going to charge 140%. Oh, now it's going to be 20%. It's so erratic that nobody really knows what's going on. And of course, it's affected the valuation of car companies because, most of them are on the stock market, and then they're all afraid, then it goes way down. Then good news comes and it goes back a little. All this stuff is just suppositions. Nobody knows what's really going to happen. And for example, let's say they had a 100% tariff on everything come from China. How the heck are they going to logically collect it? Oh, they'll tell us what's in the shipping containers. So they'll lie about it. Come on now. Everybody knows these corporations do anything to make a profit, right? How are they going to check them? They check like 2% of the ship containers in LA that come from China. Less than 2% of them they even check. How on earth are they going to know what's in it, what the value of it is? It would be gigantic insanity going on that level. So what are they going to do? All a company would have to do is ship it from China to Saudi Arabia or someplace, and then ship it here. And if the tariffs are different, then the tariffs would be different. Well, this is sand from Saudi Arabia, right? I mean, who checks these things? Nobody checks them. This is all turned into a morass of total insanity. Nobody knows, one, what the tariffs are even going to be, and two, how the heck are they going to actually collect these things? Make your head spin. Well, nobody wants to buy those ugly ID.Buzz fake Volkswagen microbuses from the past, only now they're electrified. So they found a scheme to sell them, and that is wrapping them in two-tone, then they sell. because they're real ugly in one tone. Company that does it charges $3,000 to wrap them in two-tone, but Volkswagen's claiming that they sell more that way, and it's to the point that Volkswagen dealers are even getting a rebate from Volkswagen when they pay the other company to do the two-tone wrap because they realize we're not selling them. I drove by a Volkswagen dealer here in Clarksville, Tennessee when I was there. Right before I left, they had a whole bunch of them sitting on a lot. Nobody was buying them, right? They were all one-tone. They weren't two-tone. If you got to make a vehicle two tones just to sell it out there, how long is that going to last, right? Let's face the facts, people. Look at the Cybertruck. It came out, oh, it was so hot, and then they're not selling anymore. Now, geez, maybe it was a big mistake building them, right? Well, if you put a two-tone wrap on these things and that sells them for a short period of time, I guarantee it's not going to be a long-term solution. This is like, God, what can we do to get rid of these stupid buses? Nobody wants them. And one of the reasons people don't want them, guess what? An all-wheel drive one costs $71,545 for a very limited range. I read a guy who bought one, and he said he didn't even get a 200-mile range out of the thing. Who's going to pay that kind of money? You know, they all think that everybody's made of money. They're going to buy electric cars. They find out two things. People aren't made of money, and people really don't give a crap about electric cars in the United States. They thought, oh, we'll bring back the microbus. The hippies will buy them, blah, blah, blah. No, nobody's hardly buying them at all. Now they got to wrap them two-tone. They could have painted them two-tone in the first place, but hey, it costs too much money to repaint a car correctly, so they're just doing that wrap crap. And if you've ever had a car wrapped, rocks hit it, comes off, heat gets it, they bubble up. It's a crappy way to paint a car, you know. It's for kids that, oh, I'm bored with my car, let's put some wrap with weird stuff on it. Then another year or two, they put a different wrap on it, right? It's not like paint. It doesn't last for years and years and years. Of course, these electric vans might not last for years either. Might fit in with the whole concept of them. Well, everybody knows you're not supposed to just throw your old junk tires anywhere. Well, a man got hit with a hefty fine because he got caught repeatedly dumping old tires where they weren't supposed to be. It was a vacant lot in Milwaukee. He thought, I'll just throw them there like nobody's going to know. Well, it turns out this guy was part of a recycling scam, which a lot of them are. He was collecting tires from other people. They were paying them to take the tires out. If you ever buy a new tire, you'll see there's a little thing that says recycling fee. Well, this guy was getting the fee from the companies, but he wasn't recycling. He was just throwing them in a field. And he only got a fine for $3,855. Hey, they should have given him a much bigger fine than that. And this guy was a real character. Mr. Bowen claimed to run a tire recycling center, but he didn't even have a license for it. Now, this guy dumped 4,000 tires in this lot, right? They didn't even charge him $1 a tire. He was probably getting $3 to $4 a tire for taking them away, and they didn't even fine him $1 a tire. What is wrong with the judicial system in this country? Caught red-handed, and he even admitted that he did it. And that's all they fined him. Hey, he'll probably continue to do it. Well, if he gets $3 a tire and they only fine him less than $1 a piece, what the heck? Just keep throwing them there, right? Now, tires are a real mess because they're a fire hazard. They're a mosquito hazard, so they can put Zika virus and stuff all over the place because when it rains, the water gets inside those tires and it doesn't come out, and the mosquitoes breed in them. They're an absolute mess, right? And the fact that a guy like this could throw 4,000 and only got a $3,800 fine, what's wrong with you people in Milwaukee? That's all I got to say. You should have at least said, how much did he get for each tire? He put 4,000 tires in there, so here's your fine. And then give him a civil fine on top of it for being a slob. They're going to have to say goodbye to your e-bikes if you live in certain parts of California, because they're banning a bunch of them starting July 1st for people who are under 16. They're banning the level 2. There's level 1, 2, 3. Level 2 can go up to 20 miles an hour. And they're finding out that 20 miles an hour might not sound like much in a car. Hey, man, we're only going 20 miles an hour, right? That's really slow. But on a bicycle, it's pretty fast. Most people got to pedal real hard to get going 20 miles an hour. When all you do is push a little button or twist the lever on the fancier e-bikes, they're 20 miles an hour pretty fast, right? You fall off a bike, hit something going 20 miles an hour. Let me tell you, you are going to feel, especially if you hit a tree or something, right? Well, in Marin County, California, they're now saying, they're making a law that says you got to be 16 or older, and you got to wear a helmet if you're driving one of these things around. Now, I know because in Tennessee, where it's a lot more freedom involved, I've got a bike, and that thing goes 57 miles an hour. I only drove it that once, and it scared the heck out of me. A bicycle that goes 57 miles, even though it has pedals. You don't ever really pedal the thing, right? A lot of guys take the pedals off and put pegs on them, right? But then they're really asking for trouble, because then it basically is an electric motorcycle, and you would have to have brake lights, turn signals, a VIN number, a license plate, and insurance. So, of course, these are bicycles. Most people don't put anything on them. Let me tell you, when I drove that thing 56 miles an hour, it scared the heck out of me, right? That is way too fast for a little electric bicycles, because they are not like a motorcycle. They don't have the big motorcycle tires. If they did have the big motorcycle tires and they went that fast, they wouldn't go very far, because there's so much more friction. Going 57 miles an hour, that particular one I had, if you put big tires on it, I would assume at 57 miles an hour, this thing would probably last, I don't know, 8 or 10 miles and totally run out of electricity. They're not electric motorcycles, they're electric bicycles, right? Well, in California, they're limiting the ones that can only go 20. You're going to have to be 16 and over, and you got to wear a helmet when you're doing it. Now, a lot of this stuff does make sense, because let me tell you, those things are relatively dangerous, even at 20 miles an hour. And of course, the problem is, there's many of them that you can get right out of the box that'll go 35 miles an hour, which is almost twice that speed. And of course, then you're getting really dangerous. And I see people riding around, flip-flops on their feet, or bare feet. They're flying around. If they ever fall off, they're going to get road rash up the wazoo. So, California, the land of rules. They're telling people in Marin County now they can't drive these things around unless they're over 16. It's probably a good idea. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.